Hey guys, Adrian here for digitaldojos.com. About a year ago, I did a video on how to create a website, CMS, etc. You can still check out that video if you're interested, but I kind of want to update that. I want to make it more simpler. I want to talk about the services I recommend today and just give a how to set up a website. Whether you are a tech nerd or somebody who's just setting up a personal blog for your family and friends, a wedding, a personal blog, a travel blog, I don't know, whatever it may be, here's a couple of alternatives and methods that you can use to set up a website, both free and paid. So first things first, what we want to go ahead and look at is two alternatives. Of course, like I said, there's free and paid. There's services that you can just use and use it under their hosting, under their name. For example, WordPress.com is a really good example of that. You can set up a blog on WordPress.com. There's other blog services out there like Blogger or Blogspot, I should say. And you can go ahead and set up a website. You just enter your site address, and if it's not taken, it'll be, your name here.wordpress.com, for example, and it's hosted under them. It's pointed to their website, and then you can just give that link out to whoever you want. It's a great way to set up a really, really simple blog. You don't have to worry about everything, and it's completely free. Now, when you get into the paid aspect of WordPress, there's something called WordPress.org. .org allows you to install a self-hosted WordPress. Now, the reason you'd want to do this as a business or a personal user, this allows you to control more aspects of your blog. This allows you to design the site, pick third-party themes, much more complex themes. This allows you to also add add-ons or plugins, so you can add social plugins so people can sign in with Twitter, Facebook, and comment on your site. This gives you ultimately more control over your blog or website. Now with WordPress, it's one of the more popular services out there, .org. You do need a couple of things to do this. So since you're self-hosting this, there's two things that you're going to need. First off, you need a web host. I recommend HostGator.com only because I've used them for multiple years now on end. Very, very great support, 24/7 technical support. They can help you actually set up WordPress installations and things of that nature. You get unlimited disk space, bandwidth. It's just really affordable, and you don't have to worry about needing more space or anything of that nature. Again, you can use the host that you find appropriate, and then you'll probably need a domain name. A domain name is something like google.com, digitaldojos.com. It is your identity on the web, essentially. And keep in mind, there's a whole bunch of different alternatives. You can get things like .net, .biz. You can see here there's just a ton of them that you can search for. Obviously, the domain has to be available. I recommend name.com or hover.com. They're just really, really simple, straightforward domain services, unlike GoDaddy, who is kind of known out there. But GoDaddy upsells you on a lot of things, and you have to pay extra for a couple things. Hover and name.com give you really affordable pricing, and you pay for the year or multiple years, up to you, and you get a lot of stuff up front and things like domain privacy and all of that. So you're going to need a domain to point your website to, and then you're going to need to host it on a self-hosted website again. And this is really affordable. You can see the plans start here really, really cheap, $10 a month, on some as low as $3.96 a month. So it's really, really affordable to do this nowadays. Again, that's how you can do it with a self-hosted WordPress site. For example, digitaldojos.com here. This is my dashboard. We're on a self-hosted WordPress, and you can see all the controls I get. I can control the theme, customize it. I can edit the CSS if I want to get into it. But WordPress is really good at just a really easy-to-use user interface. If you don't know how to code, you can easily pick themes and adjust stuff. But if you do know, you can kind of tweak things. It's all up to you. Next service I want to talk about, and I recommend this highly for users who just want a website. They want to create a really, really great website. They want to be able to design it, but they don't have a huge amount of coding experience. They just want a really, really great looking website and not worry about all the background things like hosting and all that. Squarespace.com, one of the top website platforms out there. Whether you're doing an e-commerce site or just a simple blog or whatever it may be for a business, Squarespace.com literally has you covered here, and they make it really, really dead simple to design your websites with their templates here. The great thing about Squarespace, no two sites look the same. Even though they have all these templates here, you can really customize it to your liking. I mean, adjusting the column width and length, all using sliders. If you know code, however, you can easily go in and develop that in the background to add your own CSS and styles and all of that. But I really, really recommend Squarespace if you just want a really simple and straightforward hosting and website platform, because it handles all of that for you. You can easily then buy a domain and just link it to your Squarespace. They help you do that as well. You can start a free trial. The pricings are really affordable. I'm going to go ahead and jump to their pricing here. They have 3 plans, $8 a month, $16 a month, and $24 a month if you go through an annual plan. If not, you go month to month and you pay just a little bit extra, but again, highly worth it. And even e-commerce sites, highly recommended. They make really, really great looking e-commerce sites, and they pack in a lot of stuff like Stripe support and all that, so you can easily accept credit card and all that via your website. Squarespace, it just takes care of all the great nuances, and technical stuff behind web hosting. You don't have to worry about your website ever going down. They have a really, really great server support. On top of that, responsiveness. My website here, adrianc.me, this is built on Squarespace. And it's just a simple website I use as a portfolio page anytime people want to get my about information or my biography. This is all designed. I just leave it up and I don't have to worry about it. I update it from time to time, but you can see here it's responsive automatically. So if I drag this down, you can see how the content starts to shrink automatically. So that means if anybody views this on a mobile phone, a tablet, whatever, it's simply taken care of. I don't have to worry about all of that. Next up, medium.com. Now, I use this site as an example. If you have a blocking service you're already using, Tumblr, for example, may be a popular one. Tumblr, Medium are really, really popular right now, and you just want to link your domain to that, you can easily do that as well. So I can easily take adrianc.me and link it to my Medium profile. That way, I only have to pay for a domain every year, and I don't have to worry about anything else. I can use a free service like Tumblr or Medium, and I can easily just link my domain to my blog, and it's that simple. So keep in mind you can do that as well. You can just buy a domain name from name.com, hover.com, etc., and link it to your blog, and that's all you have to worry about. Last but not least, in terms of setting up a website, I want to recommend, of course, the technical method behind it. If you want to learn to code and make your own custom website, HTML, CSS, PHP, all that good stuff, feel free to do that as well. Obviously, as a web designer, if you're looking to do that, and if you're looking to code your own website from the ground up, that is something you can do too. Obviously, this is the more advanced method because it requires you to learn coding and know your ways around that, and a little bit of design perspective. But obviously and ultimately, this gives you the most control over your website. This allows you to set up a website fully coded by you and set up by you. Or of course, you can pay people to do this on Freelancer and so on and so forth. So if you have a really specific idea of a website that you want, and the ins and outs of it, you can code it yourself. You can pay people to code it. That's a really, obviously the more on the advanced end of setting up a website. But nowadays, it is so easy to find people out there to do it. There's a handful of web designers out there who can do the job for you. Or like I said, if you want to be more hands-on, feel free to go to sites like codeacademy.com, which I'm looking at now, and pick up your lessons and start to learn code. They offer lessons in HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Python, PHP, and a whole bunch of other languages that you can check out. And this is just one a resource, I should say, out there for you to learn your code. So again, to recap, you have services like free services like WordPress.com, self-hosted services like WordPress.org, services like Squarespace, which is an all-in-one really great package and a paid service, but really, really worth it, I believe. And then, of course, to get your domain names, you can use services like name.com, hover.com, and HostGator for web hosting. So, I should say, mention at the end here, and of course, custom coding your website or paying somebody to set that up for you. I hope this helps you guys out. I hope this gives you some insight on setting up a website and the many methods you have out there. These are just a list of services. There's plenty more out there. These are the ones I highly recommend and some of the top services out there. So if you enjoyed, don't forget to like that video, and of course, subscribe if you enjoyed and want to get more content. And with that, guys, I'll catch you all in the next one.